for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of The Slave World. As you know, every 30 years, these two planets orbit through our galaxy. And for a couple of months, we get a fairly good look at them.
I remember them, Chief. They move in a contrary orbit to the rest of our planets.
Exactly. And since the development of this new telescope, we've had a chance to get a closer picture of these babies. There's every reason to believe that both of these planets are in...
What strange-looking stars.
Not stars, Crystal. Spacecraft. Like saucers.
Saucers like we used to see from Earth?
Yes, and they undoubtedly came from this smaller planet. Scott, I want you to go there, and if you find intelligent beings, invite them to join the Interplanetary Council.
We'll take off immediately.
Oh, darn, there goes my hair appointment.
Maybe they have beauty parlors out there, Crystal.
Oh, Taurus.
Planet's dead ahead, Skipper.
Oxygen indicator positive. They have an atmosphere.
Reverse G seats. Stand by for entry.
Scott, the little planet has a volume equal to Earth's moon.
Radiation is high, but safe.
Firing retro rocket. Reversing ship for landing. Not a sign of life.
What did you expect, a welcoming committee?
Sure is quiet out there.
We better take our blasters, Skipper, just in case.
Let's go down and take a look around.
It sure doesn't look inhabited to me.
Scott, look! A flying saucer.
Say the word, lad, and I'll...
Hold your fire, Taurus. We come as friends from the outer galaxy.
Welcome to Utopia. We were expecting you. I am known as Ito. We are to take you to Sesam, our ruler.
Thank you. We're anxious to meet with him.
They look just like we do.
Come. We will take you in our surface craft.
How far is it to your city?
It is not far. Soon we will go underground and transfer to the tube.
What is the tube, Ito?
The tube is our underground transportation. All of our cities are underground. We have arrived. This is our Capitol building. Sesam awaits you.
And so, on behalf of the Interplanetary Council, we're pleased to invite your planet as a full member, to be governed by its laws and share in its benefits.
If only we could, Commander. Unfortunately, we have no control of our affairs. Utopia is a slave state.
Slave state? In this day and age?
Well, we'll fix that. No, my friends. It cannot be fixed. Our very existence is controlled by Spartania. What great power does Spartania have over the planet Utopia to keep it a slave planet? And how will Scott be able to help? Don't miss the next exciting episode of Space Angel. Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of The Slave World. You remember last time, Scott, Crystal, and Taurus blasted off in the Starduster for 2 small planets that orbit through our galaxy once every 30 years. They landed on the smaller planet and started exploring when a flying saucer appeared. The friendly pilot, Ito, took them underground to Sesam, the ruler of Etopia, who explained that Etopia was a slave to its planet, Spartania.
What power do the Spartanians have over your people?
Many centuries ago, the Spartanians declared war on us. Because we were a peace-loving people, we were not prepared to defend ourselves.
They orbited megatomic ray stations around our planet.
Observe the view screen.
They can activate the ray stations at will, contaminating our atmosphere.
Of all the dirty tricks,
In all these years, why haven't you contacted us for help?
we tried on several occasions. We sent out our saucers. Let me show you.
We had hoped to find a civilization more highly developed than our own, who could help us resolve our interplanetary dispute. But a horrible sight awaited us when we arrived on your Earth. We found you Earthlings engaged in primitive battles among yourselves. That was the First World War.
Oh, how terrible.
Many years passed before we again sent saucers to your world.
World War II.
Seems pretty ridiculous, doesn't it? But there were intervals of peace between these conflicts.
That may well be.
We never attempted to contact you again. We have accepted our fate.
But that was a long time ago.
That's right. Wars have been outlawed in our solar system. In fact, the whole galaxy.
That's right, Season. We now have the Interplanetary Space Council to enforce peace. And I can assure you it has the power to do so.
No, my friend. We cannot risk it. Spartania could destroy us in a matter of hours.
The Spartans are here. What shall we do?
Prepare for tribute. Tribute? What tribute? Whenever they ask, we must pay tribute to the Spartanians.
Let us go to the surface, and you may see for yourselves.
Is this the tribute you must pay? Your own people?
Yes, Scott.
How barbaric.
All must take their turns at serving the Spartanians.
I wouldn't submit to slavery. Why don't you fight them?
That would not be very utopian.
This is the only way our race can survive.
Remember, the Spartanians could suffocate our planet in a matter of hours if they chose to do so.
I think it's time we paid a visit to these Spartanians.
No, my friend, you must not go there. The Spartanians are not to be trifled with.
Well, now, we didn't intend to trifle with them.
Scott, the saucer's blasting off.
So are we, Chris. Just as soon as we can get back to the Stardust. We'll put a stop to this nonsense once and for all.
Can Scott, Crystal, and Taurus free the small planet of Etopia from slavery? Don't miss the next exciting episode of Space Angel. Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of The Slave World. Last time, Sesam, the ruler of Utopia, explained to Scott, Crystal, and Taurus how the neighboring planet Spartania orbited megatomic rays around the small planet. As they were talking, the Spartanians' spacecraft landed. Those Utopians chosen to serve as slaves file on board to be taken to Spartania. Scott, Chris, Taurus blasted off for the neighboring planet.
We're in free flight. This is going to be a short run.
Old Sesam was sure upset about our going to Spartania.
I guess he has good reason to be upset. The Spartanians must be terrible people. Can you imagine a slave state in the 21st century?
There it is, altering course for orbital approach. Guess I better radio in for landing instructions. Spartan Control, this is the Starduster from the United Planets Outer Galaxy, requesting permission to land.
I wonder if they'll let us.
Starduster, this is Spartan Control. Permission denied. You have no official business here.
On the contrary, this is an official visit. We represent the Interplanetary Space Council.
We do not recognize your space council. We are masters of our own affairs. Strongly suggest you turn back.
I wonder if they're as big as they sound.
Starduster to Spartan Control. We're landing. Notify your superiors.
Very well, Starduster. We'll give you a homing beam on Interstellar Channel. Stay on the beam. Your ship will be covered by disintegrating rays at all times.
Well, now, that's what I call a friendly invitation.
Stand by for vertical landing. Extend landing legs.
Landing legs extended.
So far, so good.
Crystal, you stay aboard. We'll keep our intercom open to the Starduster's frequency. If we get in trouble, you'll know it. And contact the Space Force for help.
Right, Scott.
Skipper, here comes a surface craft.
Let's go out and meet it.
No driver. Must be remote controlled.
Well, hop aboard, Taurus.
The invaders will please follow the blinker guides to the conference room.
Invaders? That must mean us, Skipper.
I suppose it does, Taurus. Let's go. Well, here we are.
What a place to throw a ball. These are the terrible Spartanians? I was expecting men.
They may be physically weak, but remember their strength and intelligence.
Well, intruders, state your business. What does your Space Council want of us?
We've come to invite you to join the Interplanetary Space Council. However, we must protest your practice of forced servitude.
We have no interest in your Space Council. By what right do you interfere with our affairs?
For the right of individual freedom and equality.
Spartania recognizes only the power of the superior mind.
If it's power you respect, the Space Council has plenty of that, too.
In other words, you intend to force us to give up our slaves?
The decision to use force is not up to me. But we certainly must report to the Space Council what we found here.
Fools, I can destroy you with a touch of my finger.
Now, that's perhaps. But you'd have the whole galaxy to answer to.
Huh. Very well. We accept the challenge.
Oh, no! Mayday! Mayday! Starduster calling Space Control. Come in, please. Oh!
You will turn off the communicator and come with me, Earth creature.
Did the Space Control Center receive Crystal's message? Or are Scott, Taurus, and Crystal completely cut off from outside help? Don't miss the next exciting episode of Space Angel! Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of The Slave World. Last time, Scott, Crystal, and Taurus landed on the planet Spartania. Leaving Crystal aboard the Starduster, Scott and Taurus went to find the ruler. Scott protested the Spartanian practice of slavery against the planet Etopia. As they were about to leave, the ruler paralyzed Scott and Taurus with a ray beam. Crystal, aboard the Starduster, sent an emergency call, but she was captured before the call was completed.
I suppose I have no choice, little man, since you have a weapon and I am defenseless.
Precisely. And it is my intention that you remain defenseless.
Now let's join your friends.
Yes, Chief, I'm sure it was the Starduster. She said Mayday twice, then the emergency homing signal.
Send a squadron from Pluto to investigate.
Right, Chief.
I think that should be enough.
Skipper, I can't move.
I can't either, Taurus. It was some kind of paralyzer ray.
Just temporarily, so that you will see the hopelessness of your situation.
The full power would have made you permanently immobile.
We're not entirely without resources ourselves.
Is that so? Can you turn your heads yet? We have the other member of your crew.
She was trying to communicate with her people, Excellence. I suspected as much. We Spartanians are not easily fooled.
Then what do you intend doing with us?
With proper discipline, you might become good slaves.
Toth, take them to their quarters. Did you get a message through to the Space Force, lass?
I didn't have a chance, Taurus, but I switched on the emergency homing signal.
And there's probably a squadron on the way out here now.
Skipper, they won't know what to expect. They could fly right into a trap.
Exactly. The Spartanians can activate those ray stations and wipe them out, along with the planet Etopia.
Then we've got to get to a radio and warn them. But how?
Scott McCloud. Scott McCloud.
Seize
What are you doing here?
Never mind that. I've been thinking. You have been risking your lives to help free my people.
That's our job, Cecil.
I know. And I owe it to my people to help you if I can.
Do you have a service craft we can use?
Yes, I have. But how will you get out? I have no weapon.
I think we can manage it. How about it, Taurus?
Shouldn't be too difficult. Just stand back, Cecil.
What's he going to do? They took all our weapons.
Not all of them, Chris. We still have Taurus strength.
What tremendous strength.
Let's go.
Do you have a fix on the Starduster signal yet? Triangulation fixes the Starduster in the area of the twin planets. Base Force 1 to Squadron. Our destination seems to be in the area of the twin planets. Stay tight and keep your eyes open.
Stay out of sight till we get through the city.
We will.
Don't worry.
All clear.
So far, so good.
You know where our ship is, Cecil?
Yes, I know.
I will take you to it.
Scott, we'll never get off the ground. Your surface rays will blast us if we attempt to take off.
Not if we can knock out the ray stations before we blast off.
First, we've got to find them.
I know where all their installations are. Our people had to build them.
That's great, Cecil. If you'll point them out to us, we'll do the rest.
We are nearing your ship.
Sit down where there's cover.
Your Excellence, the prisoners have escaped.
The fools. They can't get off this planet. Notify all stations to shoot them on sight. What about their ship, Excellence? Cross the disintegrator beams over their ship. If they try to take off, their ship will become their tomb.
What will happen when the Starduster blasts off into the disintegrator beams? Can Scott's plan possibly work? Don't miss the next exciting episode of Scott McCloud, Space Angel. Blast off. for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of The Slave World. Last time, Scott, Torres, and Crystal escaped from the Spartan dungeon and headed back toward the Starduster with Cecum. The Spartans, meanwhile, had crossed disintegrator rays over the ship, so that if they tried to get off, they would be destroyed.
You know where the ray stations are that would be covering our ship?
That strange-looking tower across the valley is one.
Its ray is invisible. You cannot tell with the eye whether it is on or not.
There's another one on the opposite side of the valley.
I see. They've really got us boxed in.
That's why they landed us in this valley. This is as close as we dare get with a saucer. You'd better take it from here on foot.
Thanks, Cecum. If we make it, we'll be back with our Space Force.
Thank you, my friends. I must get back now before I'm missed.
I've got a definite fix on the Starduster homing signal. It's coming in from the larger planet. Keep trying to reach them. Aye, aye.
Ready, gang?
Hi, Skipper.
Right, Scott. Should I radio the Space Force?
No, Chris. If we started broadcasting, the Spartanians would know we're here and blast us before we could get a message off.
I can see the rays crossed over us on the infrared detector. I wonder why they haven't blasted our ship.
Either they don't know we've escaped yet, or they're just waiting for us to fly into the ray on liftoff.
We'll blast them on liftoff, right, Skipper?
Right. We don't want to give them time to put any other rays into action.
Sounds like awful close timing. I hope we make it.
Stand by for blastoff.
Hold her steady. Now.
Good shooting, Torres.
Starduster, this is Space Force One. Come in, please.
There they are.
Chris, switch me to the Space Force channel. Space Force One. This is Starduster. Over.
Skipper, I've got him. Starduster, this is Space Force One. What's the trouble?
Space Force One, this is Starduster. I have a target for you. There are 8 megatomic ray stations orbiting the small planet of Etopia. They must be knocked out. Use caution. They can be activated at any time. Try to hit them simultaneously. I'll keep them occupied down below.
Roger, Starduster. We'll be in your area in 2 space units.
Here they come.
Chris, stand by to launch the Space Star. I'm going below.
Space Force One to all ships. Arm your rockets. Split and attack.
I'll take the one onto starboard.
Roger, Captain. Boy, these things really go off with a bang. Just like the 4th of July. Like shooting fish in a barrel.
Your Excellence, spacecraft are destroying our ray stations. Blast them with the surface rays.
Skipper, the ray station got 2 of our ships.
I'll get it. Blast off.
Scott dives down into the Etopia atmosphere to blast the ray station.
Watch out for that surface ray.
I got it, Torres.
Good work, Skipper.
All orbiting ray stations knocked out. Any further orders?
Move in and secure. And thanks, Space Force.
I don't know how to thank you for securing the freedom of our people.
It's our privilege. Freedom is one thing that's always worth fighting for. Make sure you never lose it again.
We won't, Scott. The freedom that you and your brave friends have won for us will never be lost. Speaking of freedom, how about a leave, Skipper?
Yes, I need time to get my hair done.
To a woman, there's nothing more important than her hair.
And so ends the adventure of The Slave World. Don't miss the next exciting story of Space Angel.